Give me a moment with your friend. I've never been on trial for my thoughts before.
Welcome to the Only One Mic podcast where no one is half the battle. Brooklyn Dre. J-Rob is in the building. How y'all doing?
What up, what up, what up? What's good?
All right, y'all. Listen up. We got a few topics to discuss, man. I know we get the boys back together. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to start off with the fight that happened.
Yeah.
Jay has some
What a
opinions
fight.
on
What a
this.
great fight.
You know what I mean? So we had like Errol Spence Jr., was it?
Yeah, Errol Spence Jr.
Yeah.
It's kind of offered.
Yeah, Crawford.
Undisputed welterweight championship of the world.
Kind of. All right.
I don't know if we could call it a fight.
No, it definitely was a fight.
Yeah.
It definitely was a fight. It might have been one-sided. You know what I mean? But let me first say this.
Yeah.
This man got beat up so bad that I was scared for his life.
I was too. I'm not joking either, man.
Yeah, not even being funny. Like I was like, he might die after this. Like somebody throw the towel in.
Yeah, it was about maybe the round before they stopped him, man. I was like, he's taking too much punishment, and you know, sometimes that toughness that you have within you might be too tough, man. You know what I mean?
That's what get people hurt.
You know, I remember as a kid, man, watching was it Ray Boom Boom Mancini and Dooku Kim. And I remember they had their fight. I think it's Dooku Kim was the fighter that he fought and he killed in the ring. And it was like one of the greatest fights. I saw that fight. I actually saw it. I remember it came on like Channel 7 Wild. Remember they did like Wild World of Sports, something like that, I believe, back then or something.
Right.
And I saw that fight and he ended up dying. Dooku Kim ended up dying after that fight. So it's kind of like the same thing, man. Sometimes going out on your shield is too much, man. You know, I thought he was going to end up getting some problems from that fight.
Hurt real bad, yeah. And the joke I'm about to make now is, you know, I don't want to see the brother hurt, but didn't he look like Martin when he got beat up?
I was going to say that too, man.
How does it look, Judah?
Oh, man.
Oh. I spoke to Sugar. He calls you the get hit man.
Yeah, man.
Classic Martin material. But yeah, you know, shout out to both of them though for putting on a nice classy.
They both handled it with class, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both handled class. I mean, honestly speaking, I don't think they got the best Earl Smith. It looked like something was wrong with him, man.
I thought so too, bro, but I didn't want to make no excuses for him. He just didn't look right.
Yeah, he looked kind of like lethargic from the beginning, man. And then again, I think me and you talked about this behind closed doors, man. He never been took into deep waters, man. He never had nobody check him. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what, man? The streets are saying that car accident he had was because he was getting chased by some gangsters.
Oh yeah. Wow.
So that's Wow.
Well, I mean, they checked him outside, but I'm saying nobody, never checked that chin in the ring. You know what I mean? Where he never went through not Errol, but Terrence Crawford definitely went through it. You know, he had some fights where it could have went the other way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, well, what I'm saying is that they said that he didn't have nothing being broke from the car accident, but his mouth was all messed up. His jaw, his chin, all that was messed up. So
that's free range.
You're never going to be the same.
Yeah, that's free range in the ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially once you get that scar tissue on you and stuff like that, man. But he looked crazy after that fight, man. You know what I mean? I wonder. I hope. Hopefully he's all right.
Yeah. Hopefully he make a comeback. If I was him, I would retire. I definitely wouldn't be looking for no rematch.
Yeah, nah. Just sit it down, man.
It's too early to retire, man. He got some time, man.
Bro, I'm gonna say this right after the fight.
I don't think he need a rematch.
Look, after the fight, the announcer was like, "Hey, you and Bud had a conversation after the fight. What did Bud say?" He was like, "Who?" Like like he was disoriented.
Bud?
What happened?
Huh?
He was
Larry
disoriented.
who? Larry
His
who?
words were slurring. I don't think you need to do this no more. Shout out to Errol Spence, man. I'm a fan. But
Yeah, that's what you got.
I just want to see you healthy, brother. You got children.
He said, "Hey, boo boo." He just went lost. He lost it, man.
Yeah, man. Speaking
man.
of losing it, man, we gonna move on to the next topics now. I'm gonna tell everybody that's listening right now, be prepared. Be prepared.
Okay.
This is going to offend a few people. This episode. We particularly
It is
don't.
what it is.
We
It is
don't
what it
care,
is.
to be honest with you. But
Just say your comments. Put your comments there.
But yeah,
We
put
wanna
in
hear
the comments. Say, hey, we got a phone line now. You can leave your messages, man.
Truth is the truth.
All nasty grams are welcome. All right. First of all, I didn't even lay this on you, brothers, man. Before we get into the other topics or whatever, but it all kind of gels in together. We just showing y'all right now the world that we're living in. Okay. So according to the New York Post, a man spent $20,000 to transform himself into a border collie and went out for a walk the first time.
What?
You know what I say, man? If everybody want to be what they want to be, why can't he be the border collie?
Listen, listeners, follow the theme of this show. Follow the theme. Because he just said it. Everybody want to be whatever they want to be. So listen
you
to
can
this.
identify with whatever you want to be. Why can't he be a border collie?
A Japanese man, exactly.
Well, let me go.
I don't think it's right. I'm just saying.
Let me
I
explain some
got a
context.
question for that.
Yeah.
I got a question for that. So,
Got fur on her?
so
I'm gonna explain that in a second. Go ahead.
if I want to be a bank robber, it should be my right to go and rob banks because that's what I want to do.
Whatever you want to do.
And I shouldn't be subjected to these laws because this is me.
Well, this is what happened with this guy here. It says he's a Japanese man, and he spent more than $20,000 to become a dog, and has finally taken his first walk immediately
Yeah, you
after
can't.
he made some canine friends. This is crazy. All right, the man is known as Tuco. I think I'm spelling it correct. It's saying it correct. It's T-O-C-O, Tuco. The man spent 2 million yen on a hyper-realistic border collie costume to fulfill his lifelong dream of becoming an animal.
What does he mean by canine friends? He got dog friends?
No, he went out. It's footage. Of course, you can't see it here because we're on air. But
He's out there sniffing butts in the dog park.
absolutely. Everything
Like
that
real dogs.
real dogs.
It's not other people that
No.
dress up like him.
No, it's not. It's not a what's they call it, a fluffy furry situation. It's nothing like that. The man actually had a dog costume, a dog suit built for $20,000, and it said he has more than 30,000 YouTube subscribers. Now listen, I'm gonna talk to this for a second. This joker dressed up like a dog and has 30,000 YouTube subscribers. Look at what we're doing, folks. We're trying to hit y'all with some truth, some facts out here, man. And he has 30,000 YouTube subscribers, y'all. That means, our priorities is backwards, y'all. So
It definitely is.
it said that he was seen playing in the backyard on all fours and performing tricks in exchange for treats. This is a grown man in a dog costume. But now grown man in dog costume. He said, but now he ventured into the public for the first time. So now he's out here. Actually, they got footage of this woman walking him through the park.
You sound like one of them freaks, man.
It might be. It says in his YouTube channel, he posted, "I want to be an animal." Tuco was seen being taken for a walk on a leash, sniffing at other dogs in the park and rolling around on the floor. And if you see the dog costume, it does look like an actual creepy looking collie. It looks like a CGI version of a real dog, to be honest with you. Yeah, like you would see him in a Disney show or something. It said the $22,000 costume was created by Zuppet.YouTube, Tuco's grand debut, which was captured while he was filming a segment for a German TV station, and seemed to be well received by passersby and other dogs who appeared to be curious. It wasn't clear whether they realized Tuco wasn't a natural dog. Now, this is what
believe we're better than this.
I want to believe it. It says here, "I became a collie, fulfilling a dream." This man has had a dream to be a collie.
What happened to us,
he was
man?
a kid. I don't know. But
What happened to us, man?
First of all, that's a dead giveaway right there. Why would you want to be a dog as a child? So you need a therapy.
Why would you want to be a dog, right? So it says that's what he said, and that he wanted to be a dog. He fulfilled his. I can't even go on. Malcolm, what do you got to say about this?
That's a Negro that's out of his mind.
That's exactly. I can't even go on with the story. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Man. Yeah, I don't even know, man.
It's dumb. But like I said,
just want to believe we're better than this, man.
I want to believe it too, man. This is humanity.
You know what? We all grew up in the city, and as children, we like to use our imagination. And I remember that kids would have a little towel or whatever, and we would jump off the building onto the mattress.
Yeah.
One guy thought that he was fly. He didn't want the mattress, so he jumped off the building, and he jumped off the roof, and he landed on the ground, and he broke concrete. And he realized that he was not a superhero.
From here on out, that was it.
That was it.
That was it.
Kiss that concrete one time.
So yeah, this is keeping with the theme, folks. This man wanted to be a dog. Now, keeping in the same rolling theme here, Congress. Sorry, don't do it. Congress has went to voting on changing kids' gender. Was everybody aware of this? This is what I mean. We're aware of it, but the 30,000 YouTube subscribers that Dogman got, are you familiar with this? Because this is what's going on under your nose while you're watching a grown man roll around with dogs.
Pay attention to the wrong thing, major and minor.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So this is when it happened the other day. It was something about gender surgery. What was it called? Gender reassignment surgery?
Gender reassignment surgery or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. So the Republican Congresswoman Kamek, am I saying it correct? She wanted to play a video from a doctor that shows that this whole gender reassignment surgery thing is, jacked up. The Democratic side walked out of the meeting because they felt it was a circus. They didn't want to hear her point of view during the congressional hearing.
And these are the people that you vote for, black people. You vote for these Democrats. They want to gender reassign your children.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Now, of course, I encourage you all. In fact, if I remember to do this, I'm going to put a link to this particular segment into the descriptions because you won't be able to see what we're seeing. But during her attempt to kind of show that this was messed up, they decided it was a circus. Everybody on the Democratic side walks out of the meeting. All right, so I'm going to play a clip of what transpired during that meeting. Check this out, Joe.
Chair recognizes Ms. Kamek for 5 minutes on the amendment.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I am so grateful to my colleagues, Representative Crenshaw for his leadership on this bill, and all of my colleagues here who are supporting funding for our children's hospitals. I want to reiterate again that nothing in this bill would prohibit a child with gender dysphoria from receiving proper mental and behavioral health care services. The underlying text is limited to experimental medical intervention, specifically using puberty blockers, hormone therapies, and surgeries to change a child's gender. And it was mentioned several times from my colleagues on the other side of the aisle that we don't understand this process. And so for the sake of clarity, really, I'd like to show a video, a brief interview that was conducted by an expert. I'm
going to stop it right there. Now, she's attempting to explain what they didn't understand. All right? And this is the reaction she got. She was attempting to explain it.
In gender reassignment surgeries from Oregon's healthcare system.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
I object. I move that the committee adjourn. This has turned into a circus. I move that the committee be adjourned.
It's official. It's official testimony.
Madam Chair, can I just ask?
Madam Chair, without objection, I would like to play this
committee
video.
will come to order.
I was going
Motion to adjourn is not debatable, right? So I have to ask. Okay, so Ms. Kamek controls the time. She gets her 5 minutes, and then we'll move to vote on the motion to adjourn.
We don't want to be held hostage by whatever it is that you guys are.
The committee will come to order.
So
Ms. Kamek controls the time. Ms. Kamek controls the time.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, Chairwoman. Without objection, I would like to.
I object.
There's an objection.
I object. We have no foundation or basis for this video.
I just don't want to see that truth,
I'm
man.
a medical expert from your side.
I object.
People are getting their coats.
If we don't as you claim, if
because they don't want to see the truth
and how this surgeries work, I would like to show a video that articulates how these surgeries are conducted. I think that is completely germane to the conversation that we are having here today.
Okay. Just, excuse me. Lady will suspend. Committee will come to order.
Yeah, they just don't want to see the truth.
Well, I wonder if does the video make you sick to watch what happens?
Yeah, that's what it is.
But you stand on this issue. How can you vote on the issue and not be informed?
I don't
see. It's cool. It's cool to have this conversation with closed eyes. It's kind of like, like we say in the neighborhood. It's easy to drive by and just shoot somebody. You know what I mean? Because mentally you can't get the picture. You just did it and you just keep moving. But when you actually roll up and have to take a pistol to somebody's head and blow their head off, you got to actually see the whole disgusting picture. And that's what I think what happens is when she's trying to show them that video, you're getting the whole disgusting picture of what's going on. And it's easy to have this conversation if we don't see the picture. Once you see the picture, it's like, wait a minute, we don't want to see the picture because that's disgusting.
This is children.
For children for children.
Leave the babies alone.
Leave them alone. We also have a young lady by the name of Chloe Cole, who was a detransitioner. And she went to the same congressional hearing and gave her testimony on what it was like. Initially, she transitioned to a boy. She transitioned back because that's not exactly what she wanted. But the way that she describes it is like the doctors coax her parents into saying, well, basically either she can take this surgery or die. And it wasn't what she wanted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the video of Chloe's testimony.
I used to believe that I was born in the wrong body. And the adults in my life whom I trusted affirmed my belief. And this caused me lifelong, irreversible harm. I speak to you today as a victim of one of the biggest medical scandals in the history of the United States of America. I speak to you in the hope that you will have the courage to bring the scandal to an end and ensure that other vulnerable teenagers, children, and young adults don't go through what I went through. At the age of 12, I began to experience what my medical team would later diagnose as gender dysphoria. I was well into an early puberty, and I was very uncomfortable with the changes that were happening to my body. I was intimidated by male attention, and when I told my parents that I felt like a boy, in retrospect, all I meant was that I hated puberty, that I wanted this newfound sexual attention to go away, that I looked up to my brothers a little bit more than I did to my sisters. I came out as transgender in a letter I sent on the dining room table. My parents were immediately concerned. They felt like they needed to get outside help from medical professionals, but this proved to be a mistake. It immediately set our entire family down a path of ideologically motivated deceit and coercion. The gender specialist I was taken to see told my parents that I needed to be put on puberty-blocking drugs right away. They asked my parents a simple question: would you rather have a dead daughter or a living transgender son? The choice was enough for my parents to let their guard down, and in retrospect, I can't blame them. This was the moment that we all became victims of so-called gender-affirming care. I was fast-tracked onto puberty blockers and then testosterone. The resulting menopausal-like hot flashes made focusing on school impossible. I still get joint pains and weird pops in my back, but they were far worse when I was on the blockers. A month later, when I was 13, I had my first testosterone injection. It's caused permanent changes to my body. My voice will forever be deeper, my jawline sharper, my nose longer, my bone structure permanently masculinized, my Adam's apple more prominent,
sad, man.
My fertility unknown. I look in the mirror sometimes and I feel like a monster.
Yeah.
Sad, man.
I got a quick question.
Yeah.
I don't understand why the parents was told that either she could die or take the treatment. Was something wrong with her? I don't get that.
I guess she was going through some mental issues.
Yeah,
or something like
the gender dysphoria, the mental part of it is basically like, from what I'm gathering, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong out there that's listening. Basically, if she feels this way, she might mess around and kill herself. You know what I mean? So it's better to just give her what, this is what I'm gathering. I could be totally wrong. It's better to just give her what she wants, or walk in the room and find that she done committed suicide.
But this is the crazy thing about children, man. You know, we all went through puberty. We all went through points of things that we felt uncomfortable and stuff like that as children. You know, this is what children do. You know what I mean? So to just wake up in one morning and say that this is the answer to all those issues or whatever case may be is absolutely ridiculous, man. It's sad, man. And they mutilated this person, man. You know what's sad about that that Congress videotape that you were showing earlier? There's a doctor in there, I believe, that said he performed a couple of these already. Performed a couple of these already, man.
Yeah.
Like you said, man, when you was a child, you wanted to be Superman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It don't mean you're gonna be Superman.
Nobody. You didn't go to your parents and say, "Hey, I want to get muscles implanted in my pecs and in my arms."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, nobody touched that.
And you know what? It sounds like they ran game on her parents to make her a guinea pig, man.
It sounds exactly like that. To be quite honest with you, you know, and this is just, you know, half of the video. I'm gonna get to it, back to it.
They probably were just like so happy to get their hands to somebody who's great.
Another one that we can test
practice on. Yeah.
And if you listen to her testimony, a lot of the stuff she experienced, and this is before she was even 13. You know what I mean? Remember, she got her first hormone injection at 13, because you have to be a certain age before they start that procedure. You know what I mean? So it's like a whole section of it, but I'm gonna let her go ahead and finish this off real quick so y'all can get an understanding. Only reason I'm letting it play like this is because to give the people an understanding of what happens when these kids go through this. It's not all strawberries and cream. You know what I mean? So here we go.
I had a double mastectomy at 15. They tested my amputated breast for cancer. Now I was cancer-free, of course. I was perfectly healthy. There was nothing wrong with my still developing body or my breasts, other than that, as an insecure teenage girl, I felt awkward about it. After my breasts were taken away from me, the tissue was incinerated. Before I was able to legally drive, I had a huge part of my future womanhood taken from me. I will never be able to breastfeed. I struggle to look at myself in the mirror at times. I still struggle to this day with sexual dysfunction. And I have massive scars across my chest. And the skin grafts that they took of my nipples are weeping fluid today. And they were grafted into a more masculine positioning, they said. After surgery, my grades in school plummeted. Everything that I went through did nothing to address my underlying mental health issues that I had. And my doctors, with their theories on gender, thought that all my problems would go away as soon as I was surgically transformed into something that vaguely resembled a boy. Their theories were wrong. The drugs and surgeries changed my body, but they did not and could not change the basic reality that I am and forever will be a female.
That's it.
That's it.
That's the bottom line, man.
That's it.
You can cut off this and cut off that, whatever you want to do. That's the bottom line. And you know, this is, you know, for people that say that we talk about this a lot, it's very important, man, that you hear these stories and hear what's going on. This is why people are talking. This is why we are talking about that, man. Not enough people are talking about this stuff.
And you know what? To your point,
this is happening to children.
To your point, what happens is that when you see a lot of the Pride Months and things like that, they're showing you from their perspective all the happy portions of it. You know what I mean? This is the love of it. This is all of this. However, now you have this side that's telling you like this is wrong. You know what I mean?
Man, listen, man. I'm not even this a tearjerker here, man.
Yeah.
Somebody's baby.
This will make you tear up. You know what I mean? This is sad, man. This is horribly sad, man. And then you have it frustrates me. Like we got on this podcast, man. We speak about a lot of different things. You know, most of the people that we interview are women. You know, we done talked about women building schools. We done talked about financial literacy. We done talked about a whole host of things with different women and men, you know, interviewing them and stuff like that. And it seems like a lot of flack we get is from our own people, especially a lot of African American women, because we speak on this issue of homosexuality. You know what I mean? If you're a grown person and this is what your choice is, I mean, I'm not a big fan of it, you know, because my spiritual belief goes against it. But when you're talking about mutilating children or, you know, not even giving a child the opportunity to get to the age where they can make a conscious decision like this, I don't like it at all, period. But I'm saying, you know, this is a child we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about doing this. They're talking about giving funding to children. Like, for instance, I'm assuming that now, if your child comes to you and that bill was to pass and go through, your child might be able to go to school and say, my dad don't like this, but this is what I want to do.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is, to be quite honest with you.
So they're going to give that child funding to mutilate himself with not even giving him an opportunity to get to a point in life to make a conscious decision.
Do you know?
You can't go to a bank and get funding to start a business, but your child can go and say they want to be a different gender and get funded for that. This is a sick world we live in.
It is.
A soldier can fight and die in this country. And I'm not a fan. Listen, I'm religious person. I don't drink anymore or whatever like that. But they can't even go get a beer. You know what I mean? But you can let a 5-year-old make a surgical decision about his or her body. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, something. You know that there's even certain laws that tell you that if your child identifies, say they come to you and say, hey, I'm a boy, I identify as a girl. If you don't address that boy as a girl, it's akin to child abuse. And your children can be taken away from you. And I encourage you people to go look it up. It is laws just like that.
Listen, what's going on in Congress now is a travesty. And the sad part about it is, I'm going to say this as far as African American people. Everybody walking around talking about they're woke. We're asleep. In Congress, they're questioning what is a woman now. Mm-hmm. They want to change the term of mother. This is all going on in Congress. This is all being voted upon on a daily basis. And everybody African American running around worrying about something stupid.
Can I jump in here for a second? Even though I don't have a clip of this, man. Just hilarious. Let me tell you something. I've seen her response to that whole one of these transgender men or whatever they are, I don't know, saying that women basically, gatekeeping periods and stuff like that. And I think that Jessa's response and all of the many things that she said in that thing was just so, she said, you come from us. You know what I mean? You, as that man that's in that wig, comes from a woman. Once you're born, you're from a woman and you become a man and you put that wig on and decide you want to be a woman. Now you're going to tell the woman that made you
that's crazy.
That you're not a woman. Isn't that something? It's like but this is where we at with it.
It's hypocrisy. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And I think me and J-Bar was talking about this the other day. This is the funny thing, and maybe y'all can check me if I'm wrong with this or whatever the case may be. It's like we're saying that you can identify with whatever you want, right? You wake up tomorrow morning, I want to decide to identify as a woman, right? Or whatever the case may be. Then why I got to mutilate my body? If I identify as a woman, why do I have to mutilate my body to be a woman now? You know what I mean? It doesn't even make any actual sense.
You're
telling me if I'm crazy, am I crazy or it doesn't make any sense? You already identify as a woman. So why do you got to rip your penis off or whatever, or rip it apart in order for you to be a woman? It doesn't make any actual sense. It's ridiculous, man.
No, it doesn't.
It's ridiculous. And us as African Americans, man, I'm telling you, and maybe I'm too hard on our own people because I'm getting like we don't get any bad feedback from other races. The bad feedback that we don't get a lot of bad feedback, but the bad feedback we get is usually on this topic from our own race. Leave them alone. Don't let them do what they want to do or whatever the case may be. I don't care about a grown person. I don't like it, but I don't care about it. But when you're talking about mutilating children, it's ridiculous, man. And that right there, that little testimony that this child gave, man, if you send us a comment or an email about this topic saying that, we wrong about discussing it, it's something wrong with you.
As a matter of fact, I would invite you to come on the show and we can have an actual discussion about it.
Yeah, open forum.
Yeah, I'm we don't have to.
Why do you feel that there's more important things than this?
We don't have to hide behind keyboards and emails. You guys, we have a phone number. We have, just reach out. We have emails, phone numbers. Reach out, say, we want to come discuss it. As long as you come on here and discuss it respectfully, we all good.
We have a respectful conversation.
Yeah, respectful conversation. But I'm glad that you brought that up because I know another hot button topic is, Ice Cube making his rounds. And again, all of this is in correlation with what we're talking about on the main topic, which is people are being whatever they want to be. So, listening to Cube's conversation with Tucker Carlson, something that he said in this conversation kind of brings home what we're talking about as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that clip and let everybody hear what Cube had to say.
You think that it's harder to be a man in America now than it was when you were a kid?
Yes. Saying what you feel, being yourself, is what they call toxic. You know, we shouldn't be called toxic for our instincts and for, you know, I was born this way. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, why can't we be ourselves? We were born this way too.
Watch how you break this down.
So there are some groups, like if I say I'm trans, then people say that's great, you were born that way, we affirm you. But if you say I'm just a dude with male instincts, you're not affirmed, you're attacked.
Yeah, I mean, everybody doesn't really have to affirm you. You know? If I wake up and say, you know, I feel like a pigeon. And I want everybody to treat me like a pigeon. Some people may say, whatever, Q, we treat you like a pigeon. But some people may choose to be like, dude, no.
That's me.
That's your world. I'm not part of it.
I'm not treating you like a pigeon. Yeah, shout out to Q, man.
Yeah,
I'm not treating you like a pigeon. I'm not treating you like a pigeon. If you think I'm gonna throw some breadcrumbs on the floor, you're crazy.
Got to.
Had to hit him with that black dynamite real quick, man. Yeah, man.
But everybody don't have to agree to it. It doesn't mean that you got to have an argument or fight about it. I just don't like it. I'm not going to agree to it. It's just the same as, you know, food. There's certain food I don't like. Don't mean that we got to have an argument about it. You just don't. You like it, I don't. That's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there definitely is an attack on masculinity. It's like men can't be men. Men can't. Again, go with their natural instincts to being attracted to females. Like, it's like, that's wrong now. They want you to hold hands with little boys. Like, this is a very, very sick world that we live in.
I was watching another thing too. Is talking about why are we in the Western world? And I posed this question to y'all. Like, why do you think that the Western world, Western civilization is so bent on changing the roles or telling you, you can be whatever you want to be. This man wants to be a dog. He can spend $20,000 to be a dog. Let him be a dog.
See, but that's the thing. That's the part that baffles me. It's like, you can be anything else in the world except for a man, well, a black man. You know, you can't be that. I mean, you're not your natural self. You can't be that, but you can be anything else. You can be a dog, cat, fish, a little girl, whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
This is the modern day Babylon, man. We're the leaders in good old fashioned sin, man. You know what I mean? We're the leaders in it. Just go ahead and whatever you want to do, you know what I mean? You can do it in here in America. Like you said, unless you want to be a black man, a masculine black man.
That's a masculine black man.
You know what I mean? And again, I think it's just a thing on masculinity as a whole, but we're talking about America and, you know, things that you can do here and that you can be comfortable here. You can wake up and say you're a dog. You can wake up and say you're a cat. Even white brothers and sisters who decide that they want to act like black people, they get mistreated. You know?
But it goes like this in America. If you want to be a masculine white man, they'll call you a rebel. If you want to be a masculine black man, you're a thug.
I agree with that. But I think a lot of masculine white men are catching flack now too. Because you notice it's we was talking about these school board meetings. It's white men in there fighting for their life up in there.
That is true.
A lot of white moms and stuff like that. And I honestly, and we've had this conversation offline, like, if you look at social media, if you look at YouTube, if you look at a lot of, like you say, the school board meetings, interviews people are doing, it's a revolution happening, man. People are getting tired of it, man. So, in fact, I'm going to play a clip from this kid, Zuby. And he was having a conversation about, the whole Western world thing. Why do you think it is that they push this agenda? And he's another one, I think, that articulated this quite well. You know what I mean? All right, so listen to this. Check this out.
People's tolerance of it is very rapidly declining. As I said earlier, 2016, 2017, apart from a handful of people, very few people were even talking about this or were even noticing.
Because it wasn't that on your face.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't at that time, right? Yeah. But the harder, they've taken it to such an insane level, pushing it on people's children, right? Trying to put it in the schools, just hammering people all day, every day with it. All these companies, all these governments just doing all this ridiculous stuff nonstop. It's almost become like a parody. It's gotten so ridiculous. Look, by the time you're allowing big men like us with beards to say that we are women and go in and start cleaning up in women's sports, like you've jumped, you right?
Oh
it's
my
absurd.
God!
It's like South Park, right? It's so silly. It's just like, come on. This shouldn't even be political. I don't care if you're a liberal, progressive, conservative, whatever. Surely we can acknowledge this is silly. This is ridiculous. This is goofy. This
just because
is not,
you took some what is that, testosterone replacement, the opposite way, reverse.
You don't even have to do that though. You don't even have to go that far. That's what I mean. Like, you can literally just say self-identity, right? It's called self-ID, right? You can literally just say, you don't need to do anything. You can just come out tomorrow and say, hey, I'm, and no one is meant to even ask a question. Everyone's just supposed to go, oh, okay.
There was a hearing, I don't know where it was, some sort of US hearing. Then the guy asked a boxing committee, I think it was in Vegas or something. He was the one who runs it. And the guy said, okay, so men can identify as women and fight. Yeah, if that's how the guy feels, fine. Okay, what if Mike Tyson tomorrow felt like he's a woman and will you allow him to fight? And he's like, if that's what he feels. Yeah. You can 54, 55-year-old Mike Tyson will clean up 19-year-olds right now.
I'd watch Michelle Tyson.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Applaud that kid, man.
But I'm gonna tell you what's funny about that. In the news the other day, it had, what's the girl, Clarissa Shields?
Yeah.
Saying she wanted to fight Thurman.
Yeah.
Everybody was going crazy. They like, yo, listen, you can't do this, whatever. But the funny thing about that, if Clarissa Shields shaves her head and put on a mustache, they'll say it's okay.
I don't co-sign that, man. That's ridiculous. Yeah,
but I'm just saying it's.
She think that she good and she think that that's possible, but come on, man.
You're fighting a man.
Yeah, you're fighting a man. You gotta stop.
Yeah, this ain't.
We gotta stop.
That's Street Fighter too, y'all. Y'all ain't gonna get on there just you gonna clean up some big dude. You feel like that's not gonna happen.
Let me tell you something. The funniest thing that ever is, if you ever get an opportunity to do, go on Google and watch some of these transvestites and these women events, man. They're destroying these women, man. And the beautiful portion about it is, that when the whole thing starts off, like everybody's so, what do you call it? Like they feel so good. Oh, it's wonderful that this is going on right now. You're giving them an opportunity and all this other stuff like that. But soon as this chick start lapping people, or not chick, God, please forgive me, a man that's acting like a woman, soon as he laps him in a race or something like that, the parents are going nuts. It's hilarious, man. I love it, man.
But it's the world we living in. And so, again,
I just find it funny. I don't care to watch it, but I just find it extremely hilarious, man. I've seen a man, transvestite, man, wrestling a girl in an event. That's domestic violence, man.
Like some Andy Kaufman type stuff, like.
Yeah. They're winning tournaments, man. They're winning tournaments, man.
They gotta stop, man. They gotta stop. Gotta stop. And to be honest, I'm gonna be honest. Like, if I had a daughter that had to compete against something like that, like, there's no way that I'm gonna let you physically harm my child. There's no way.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead with y'all.
I just tell my baby, tag me in.
I'm gonna go ahead with y'all.
Come off the ropes and tag me in. I got
with everything that we're seeing right now, and everybody is allowing, if you identifying as a man or whatever the case is they're doing now. How far are we away from seeing these cats in football and baseball?
There's no way.
Basketball, even.
It would be ridiculous. Could you imagine?
Well, suppose a man dressing like a dog for $20,000, but this is the world we live in.
Yeah.
So
but,
I mean,
how
ridiculous is it these days?
It might actually boost the ratings for the WNBA. See somebody do a drop, step, and dunk.
We're not talking about WNBA. You talking about?
Yeah, like I'm saying,
Joanna man want to sign up to play with the Eagles.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Nah.
No. What happens is with women are not going to be able to cross over into male sports. I don't care what they do.
Not at the elite level. Maybe possibly high school, but lower level high school athletics, not elite high school athletics. They can compete in the same things in like middle school, grade school type of thing. You can compete. Physically, the male advantage hasn't really, stepped up yet. Kind of like 6th, 7th grade.
But do you think that, and we see how kids are developing and things like that. Do you think, just hypothetically speaking, do you think that maybe not in our prime that we in right now, but later on in the years, that you will not see something like this?
Are they going to try to get them in women's sports? They're going to try to get them in women's sports.
They definitely getting in women's sports. As you see, they already trying to compete in the Olympics and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the funny thing, right? If you can't make it in men's sports, all you got to do is put on a wig and go over there and get
Joanna man. That's what the whole movie was about.
Yeah, that's exactly
what Tootsie was about. That's what everything Tootsie was about. Mrs. Doubtfire. That's what it was about. So it was a snowball effect, man. You know what I mean? It's a snowball effect. So
they've been trying to tell us it would come, and we've been not paying attention.
Yeah, because we kept looking at it as entertainment and all of that, man. They're trying to tell you this is where we at, man.
When is it going to be when you're going to get a woman, a transvestite, fighting against a woman in boxing or something like that, and beat the brakes off a woman, knock her eye out or something like that?
Yeah, they had one in MMA, and
crazy.
But they couldn't get her to be sanctioned in America, like the lady was fighting in Brazil or something, or and it was just hurting chicks. It was gruesome.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy, boy.
So like I said, how we bringing everything together. All right, now we got Jamal Bryant. This dude went to a gay church and called himself apologizing on behalf of all the black clergy for how they treated the gay community. Now, first of all, who made you the spokesman?
We got to say LGBTQ because it's not just gay.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And a couple other letters too after that.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But I'll be honest with you. I wish I had like my magnetic, you know how you put them on the refrigerator, the letters.
It's gonna start getting like that song. A-E-A-E-I-O-U.
Yeah.
Sometimes
But yeah, man. So he goes and he calls himself apologizing on behalf of all these people. Now, the thing now, I'm going to play the clip from him having to sit down. So in this clip, and you're going to hear it, he's talking to a so-called Bishop Oliver Clyde Allen III. Okay.
And just want to say this: any man that calls himself the third, I never trust him. Historically,
right?
You know, it started back on Gilligan's Island for me with Thurston Howell. You know what I mean?
Thurston Howell the third.
Don't trust the third.
Right. So he sits down and he calls himself apologizing to this guy about how they were being treated, but he's saying, like, basically when he's sitting down with him, like, I've sat down and caught flack for talking to Farrakhan, and I'm not a big Farrakhan fan, but I'm not comparing this to Farrakhan. All right. You know, I've talked to Buddhist monks, whatever. I don't know. I'm gonna let y'all listen to it, but it's like he's trying to make himself seem like he's so controversial, like he's just so out there, whatever. When all this stuff is nothing but a media.
Wait. So he's comparing having a conversation with Minister Farrakhan to going to homosexual church.
That he got so much flack. He got more flack sitting down talking to this guy than he did talking to Farrakhan and other people. Let me just go ahead and play it. I'm not doing
Hold on. Let me just say this though. But the funny part about it, he makes himself like some sort of revolutionary.
That's what
you're really going along with the status quo. Like you're not a revolutionary. You know what I mean? You
just doing what's popular.
You want to be a revolutionary? Talk about what we talking about.
Right.
That's a fact. All right, so here it is, y'all.
Because so much of the black church is homo-spiritual.
Wow. It's even that.
Homo-spiritual. And everybody's like, woo, wow.
It's so thought-provoking. Get the heck out of here, man. It's a goofball, man.
Homo-spiritual. What did you say?
I don't even know what that is, man. I don't even want to know.
Yeah, y'all got it.
I don't know.
You know, and people like that, you know what they do? They just talk slow.
Yeah.
And then they make you think, you know, well, so the issue here is also that we have to think. Shut up.
Yeah.
Negro, please.
Folks, we could have done a whole show on this, but homo-spiritual. Let's continue.
Wow. Love was like them.
Oh, come on in here.
Oh, he loves it. Sugarfoot loves it.
My spiritual sons are simply
Yes.
In Baltimore. 3 services at our church in Baltimore on Sunday. I go to the back door.
Yes, Pastor.
And we shake hands.
Oh, y'all got to hear this.
And while they were leaving out, a young man, I hugged him, embraced him, and as I said to all of my members on their way out, love you. See you next week. The young man stopped and said, you don't love me.
Here's the weaponization of the word love. Pay attention, folks.
Gay. It convicted me in that moment that I had done more harm. That he felt unloved by somebody who should have been promoting the love of Christ.
That's so sad.
So what happens
That's
is
so sad.
He said he was leaving the church. He normally tells all his people that he loves them on the way out. The one little guy says, you don't love me because I'm gay. Again, it's a weaponization of the word love, man. I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
You know, because again, like we as people go to church, man. We knows that, you know, it's a whole play on words, man.
He's a hustler.
Whole play on words.
It's a hustler.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say this because here's the thing: is that to say that, you know, I love a person that's gay. You know what I mean? I love them as a person. Yeah. I don't hate them. I hate the deed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? No more difference than, you know, I love my uncle. I love my family members. But if one is on drugs or if one is doing something that I deem to be immoral, whether or not they feel it's moral or not, I don't like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I still love my family members. So that right there is like the stupidest thing ever to say that, you know, like you don't love me because of that. You know what I mean? I just don't like that. You know what I mean? Right. That's it, man. That's crazy, man.
But, I mean, shall we continue or?
Jesus. Yeah, man, right. I mean, this is the same man that want to sell weed in the church. He also said Jesus only had 3 good years in his life.
85% of what he did was wrong.
Yeah, 85% of what Jesus did is wrong. He called himself a pastor.
Where did he get that information from? Like, what? Like, if he's saying that 85% of what Jesus did was wrong, is he getting that from the book that everybody else?
No.
Like, where's he getting this from?
No.
Absolutely.
So he just made that up.
It's some stupid garbage that he put together, man. He basically said because, like, in so many words, I guess he was trying to say that Jesus only had like 3 years of ministry, meaning that he's saying Jesus only did 3 years of ministry, and that's the reason why he's saying Jesus only basically took on his ministerial plight, and that gives him only 3 good years or whatever the case may be. I mean, just because there's a lot of people who ain't a minister who had to, you know, live a righteous life, man. You know what I mean, or whatever the case may be. And I'm not even getting to the whole thing of, you know, Jesus and his life and everything like that. But just to say that Jesus had only 3 years is absolutely, it goes against the whole Bible.
Again, and this person has a platform to speak where people are actually buying what he's putting down.
And
that's the crazy part about it.
There's a whole congregation sitting there when he's saying this stupid stuff, and they hold the book. They walk in there with the book.
No, they don't. They don't.
Well, I mean, not inside them, I guess.
They're taking his word over what is actually supposed to be written. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but most of them walk in there with a Holy Bible in their hand.
Hey,
they have a Bible.
Let me tell you something. There's a lot of kids that go to school with textbooks that don't crack them open. You know what I mean? I'm just going to take the teacher's word.
They just got them a Bible and just carry it.
So,
it's like a part of the soup when they get up in the morning. Put it on it. You know what I mean?
Like
Nobody opens it.
All of us been to college and we wasted money on textbooks. Why? Because you're never going to use it. Everything you need is right there in the classroom. So it's just the pageantry of it all for some people. You know what I mean? And it's like you said, if they actually read the Bible, man, like you would know that everything he's doing is wrong. All right, so this is Bishop Wooten rebuking Jamal Bryant. Sharply, I might add to this. All right, check this out.
He went and visited a LGBTQ affirming church. That is an oxymoronic statement, if there has ever been one. There are no teachings of Christ that endorses homosexuality, lesbianism, transgenderism, or any of those things. So then how can you be an LGBTQ church? So he goes to that gathering place. He said that he wanted to apologize on behalf of pastors who may have hurt them.
Oxymoronic statement, if I've ever heard one. And I didn't even play the whole thing.
Yeah, the brother actually said, well, you don't, when you go deeper into that whole thing, he says, you ain't apologizing, you ain't representing me.
You ain't representing me, yeah.
You ain't representing me. So, anybody get hurt from the word, it's on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, when you say hurt from the word, nobody's talking about the person, your physical body or whatever like that. He's saying hurt from the word, your deed. I get hurt from the word.
Everybody do. But
we all get, this follows the book. Everybody gets hurt from the word. Like there's things I do in my life that I don't want to, that you having a hard time stop doing, but you can't say it's right. You can't go up in the church and make it right. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. It might as well not be church then.
Well, Jamal Bryant pretty much went to them people and said, I apologize because God hurt your feelings.
And that's exactly what's hurting your feelings.
And see, what happens is that you don't apologize to anybody for telling the truth. You know what I mean?
Let me also make this point.
Yeah.
If you begin bending the rules there, then where does the bending the rules stop?
It don't.
Do whatever you want. That's where it's going.
Yeah. So come on, you got to stop it.
Yeah, it's a free for all.
They don't want the government to speak against anything. They don't want the government to put any holes on any foolishness. They don't want the church to put on any foolishness. It just wants to be a world freak out free for all. You know what I mean? Just do whatever you want.
And what a lot of people missing the point on, even with this joker here, is because that's dangerous. And the reason being is because he's a so-called prominent, black preacher supposed to be, right? And what's the way to kind of get everybody on board with this in the black community? Go to these guys, because that infectious garbage that he's doing there is going to start spreading around. And then next thing you know, well, we all embracing it.
He's a sicko. He's a sicko. He just want money.
Got to stop him at all costs. This is crazy.
Yeah, but that's what it comes down to. They know how to pander to their fan base.
Yeah, he's a sicko. He just want money. He want to sell weed in the church. He want to get with the homosexual community because he knows it's large in Atlanta. You know what I mean? And he actually I think he took over a congregation down there or something like that. So now he's just trying to be the best, pack that church as big as he can down there. That's all it is.
Well, what happens, I'm going to put a bow on this whole thing right here, man. And I mean, you think about all of the false prophets that, we've ever talked about on here. I'm going to even put Lamar Whitehead up here. You know what I mean? I have never heard any of them say nothing as crazy as the stuff that Jamal Bryant is saying. The whole 85% thing, this. He also said in an interview about, the weed thing is one thing. He also said that when he has to adjust his gospel pretty much because I can't go to a person as a 35-year-old man, which I'm questioning whether he's 35 or not, but I can't go to a person as a 35-year-old man who's used to, his words, getting some, and go address a kid that's 15 or 16 and tell them don't have sex. The look on your face is enough.
Because that's the very definition of a false prophet.
Thank you.
Like you just going around and just manipulating the whole thing. Like you've been better off just coming up with your own than doing that. That's crazy.
How many times have I said that, man? You know what I mean? You can't, because you know what's going to happen when you stand there and preach this stuff. There's a Bible there, and I don't understand how people can sit there and preach this and nobody in the audience just opens the book and say, "Hey, yo, let me ask you a question."
Oh man, he got his security guards and everybody escorting people right up.
Listen, you're gonna have to get a security. Listen, we believe not to go to church and all that other stuff and get into no religious debate and all that other stuff like that. But I couldn't imagine like sitting in something like that and just not saying something. I know that I'm not a minister. I can't get in there and power out with these people. I don't want to get in front of somebody and get into the discussion and make a mistake, and then other people around me say that because I lost the debate that I was wrong. You know what I mean? There's somebody that's put together that's able to debate these things, you know what I mean? And it's just amazing, man. It would just be so hard to be sitting there and just hear this stuff. Like you said, what did Paul say? Affects his righteous soul or something like that.
Yeah, and it's sad because again, all of this, everything that we presented to y'all today comes together in one pretty package. You understand what I'm saying? It just goes to show you. Now, we illustrated all this stuff from the man being the dog all the way down to this point to show you the world the way it is, man. And it's as crazy it is. Imagine what we'll know tomorrow.
Yeah, and if you're African American and you're about ready to text something or send an email regarding this or whatever the case may be, I mean, just listen to this young lady's testimony. Listen to her testimony before. These are children that we were talking about. Don't you care about children anymore? Even the jail, even when you go to jail and the pedophiles come to jail and the rapists come to jail, even the people who we consider to be the most sickest, I mean, and I'm not saying it's right to just beat up anybody or anything like that, but at least they have in their head to say, yo, we don't like this here.
Yeah, it's a moral compass.
Yeah.
It's not. But even bigger than that, if you do have an issue and you're thinking about sending an email or text or something, give us a call. Let's have that open.
Yeah, let's have an open conversation, man, about this stuff. Yeah, man, I'm interested in to understand why that you think it's okay. You know what I mean? That this goes down and everybody should shut up about it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, gentlemen. So we're gonna wrap this one up, man. A lot that we covered, a lot that we didn't cover that we're gonna have to get back to because I'm telling you, this had to be said. This had to be said, y'all. All right, so with that being said, the Only One Mic podcast is available on all major platforms you stream your podcasts on. Also, check out our Only One Mic podcast YouTube channel to catch up on the past and current episodes. And please don't forget to rate the show and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter at The Only One Mic P1, Facebook and LinkedIn at The Only One Mic Podcast. You can email us at theonlyonemic00@gmail.com. And like we said before, call us if you have any issues about what we saying. It's 302-367-7219. You can have your comments or whatever played on the show. We thank you once again for your time, gentlemen. Thank you. Good to have everybody back.
Absolutely.
Yep. And we encourage you to speak your truth quietly and clearly and listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant, because they too have their story to tell. So until next time, please keep in mind that we never had to run from the Ku Klux Klan, so we shouldn't have to run from a black man. Peace.
Peace.
But Mike is for the kids.
That's right.